This is going to be kind of a weird week because I'm not going to do a resin casting video. I need to build 2 benches. You'll see why later in the video. And also, I had an audio equipment malfunction. I needed to order a new part and it didn't come in, so I'll be overdubbing this entire video using my iPhone. I had a whole bunch of these 3/4-inch plywood strips cut 3 inches wide, and I knew that they would make great legs for these benches. While you watch me put these tables together, and by the way, they're very simple, very straightforward butt joint construction, nothing fancy, and they're made 100% out of scrounged materials or materials that were from previous projects. So the only thing I had to buy for them were the casters, and that made them extremely inexpensive to build. While you watch me make these benches, I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about some other stuff. Silicone mold making and urethane casting are about 5% of what I do as an artist in my studio. And you guys all know me as a mold maker on YouTube, but for a long time now I've been considering broadening the subject matter of the channel a little bit. Oh, we'll still make molds and we'll still pour a lot of rubber and resin, but I feel like it would be interesting and maybe more fun if we could bring in other technology, other types of projects, other materials, and other ways of making stuff. One thing that we've never talked about on this channel that really interests me, it's interested me ever since art school, the subject is why. Why are you here watching this video? Why do you want to make the things you want to make? There's a school of thought in art that says never ask why, that art doesn't need a why. It exists for its own sake, and you don't have to explain yourself. But still, it's interesting to explore the motivations of why you make a certain piece or why you want to make the things you want to make. I'd be really interested in hearing your comments about that. It's like, why are you here, guys? What's going on? What are you making? What do you love? What do you want to do with the work you're making? For me, the why answer has been pretty simple. I've always just loved to make stuff. I'm always happiest. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been happiest sitting in my room, either building a model kit or later on, attempting more complex projects like building stuff from scratch, painting things, drawing things. It's just something I love to do and gives me joy and makes me happy. And I'm wondering if that's not true for most of you. Anyway, one of the things that I fear most is getting bored. And while I'll never get bored of pouring rubber into molds and making things, I think resin casting is a fabulous way to make all kinds of things. I do think it would be fun to kind of branch out into other directions and into other media. You've seen in the last few weeks that I'm diving into 3D printing. And the reason I'm building these benches is because I'm getting a bunch of 3D printers into the studio, as well as some other things like laser engravers and cutters, and especially I would like to get a vacuum forming machine. All of these tools will allow us to make stuff and to use different approaches, not only in the making of things, but also in the making of molds and casting of things. So I think it will all tie together. I hope it will be interesting to you guys. If you have suggestions, something you really love for me to take up, and I certainly will consider any ideas that you might have for things that you'd like to see on the channel. Hey, I hope you like this video. It's really a call for comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd appreciate it, and I will see you next week.